Good morning and welcome to my show. I'm your host, Danny Graham, and I both invite and encourage you to walk with me on the road to wisdom. It's TGF, y'all. Let's walk. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to my 256th episode of the Road to Wisdom. I'm your host, Danny Graham, and let's go ahead and get into today's topic. Today's topic is don't squander your opportunity. Let me say that one more time. Don't squander your opportunity. When you squander something, that pretty much means that you waste it in a reckless and a foolish manner. When you waste something in a reckless and foolish manner, that is called squandering. And in all aspects of life, we squander things sometimes. We as the older generation, let's say the younger generation, is squandering their opportunities, and sometimes we see other people that squander their opportunities. They have so much talent, so much promise, so much potential, but it is squandered. It is. How many times have we seen somebody that was fantastic in sports or something in high school, and then instead of going to college and maximizing their potential, you see them just do little meaning things will seem meaningless to them. Some people, I know a lot of my classmates, when I got to law enforcement and I would go back out and see them, and some of them they just be drinking or doing stuff or or just doing crazy stuff or going down the path that's not leading to anything but trouble. Well, what I mainly want to focus on about squandering is we as human beings have one opportunity, one life, one time to go through this world to enjoy it, to recognize it, to revere it, and then a lot of us we have opportunities to get our soul saved and turn to God and to live a God-like life, but we don't do it. We squander it because we are too invested, too immersed in our five senses. We eat too much. We look at the wrong things. We listen to the wrong things. We touch the wrong things, and sometimes we smell the wrong things. Instead of trying to do things that are pleasing to God, we want to do things that are pleasing to ourselves. We put ourselves and our sensations and our temptations and our sinful ways and acts above trying to get right with God. Well, that's squandering. When you do something foolishly, when you know better, but you do something foolishly, you do something recklessly, that is called squander. That is the definition of squander. If we talk, I want to talk about a particular scripture. Scripture comes from the book of Proverbs. As you know, that's my favorite book. But Proverbs, the 14th chapter, 7th verse reads as follows: Go from the presence of a foolish man when you do not perceive in him the lips of knowledge. Let me say it one more time. Book of Proverbs, the 14th chapter, 7th verse. Go from the presence of a foolish man when you do not perceive in him the lips of knowledge. So basically, when somebody's talking some crazy stuff or telling you some nonsense, and you sitting there and you are eating that up and you just absorbing that and just letting all that stuff go into your spirit, go into your head instead of going in one ear and going out the other ear, you sitting there and you following up that foolish stuff. You know that this person is telling you some stuff that is not right, but it's fun. It's cool to do. A lot of times when you do fun and cool things that aren't God-like, that's when you get yourself in trouble. Trouble can manifest itself in many different ways. Going to prison, going to the graveyard too early, going to jail, getting yourself in trouble, getting diseases that there's no cure for, living lifestyles that aren't God-like. All that kind of crazy stuff can manifest itself. And what you're doing when you, like I said, when you immerse yourself in all that kind of crazy, sinful living, you're squandering your opportunity to make it to heaven. Someone in the Bible, in my opinion, who squandered their God-given talent and ability was Samson. Now, Samson was one of the 12 judges in the Bible. They got the judges breaking down into two separate groups, a major judge and a minor judge. Samson was listed as a major judge. What a major judge is mainly they were military leaders. The six major judges were military leaders. Samson was one of them. As we know, Samson was given great physical strength. God bless his parents, and his parents, when they had him, there were certain rules and things that Samson couldn't do, but Samson did it anyway. Samson, like I said, had great strength. He would use his strength, and he would defeat armies. He took the bone of an ass and I think killed over 10,000 men. He did all kind of great, amazing feats of strength that God gave him, but God told him certain things he couldn't do. Now his strength, as we know, laid in his hair. That he could never cut his hair was one of those things. He shouldn't touch a dead body. Anything dead he couldn't touch. Certain women, I think he was warned not um, to associate himself with. But guess what Samson did? He squandered those opportunities. Samson was very arrogant. His strength and the way he was able to get himself out of trouble using his strength and to defeat his enemies, the Pharisees, made him a bit arrogant. I'm super strong. No one can touch me. I can do what I want to do. I can leap a tall building and sing a bound. I can do this. I can do that. And Samson also was lustful. Delilah was somebody that he should not have involved himself with. But once he saw her, love at first sight or lust at first sight, whatever you want to call it, and she meant him no harm. She was planted there by his enemies to find out what is the secret to his great strength. And he should have been aware that she wasn't about anything because she kept trying to ask him, Samson, if you love me, tell me what's the secret of your strength. So at first he said, well, if you tie my hands, whatever, I can't do that. So he goes to sleep, wakes up, guess what? His hands is tied. Pops the ropes, defeat the enemies. Then she come back another time. Samson, you don't love me. You're not telling me the truth. You're just messing with me. Why don't you tell me? So he tells her something else crazy. Goes to sleep. Guess what? The very thing he told her that was the secret to his strength. He found himself in that same predicament. Now, why didn't Samson, who was an appointed judge by God, not one of the minor judges, but one of the major judges in the Bible, one of the six major judges, why didn't this set off some kind of light bulb in his head? I don't understand that. But I guess his lust or love for her overshadowed everything else that God had provided for him. So finally, after being nagging, he said, look, cut my hair off, I'll lose my strength. Goes to sleep, guess what? Wakes up bald headed, and guess what? Has no more strength. Squandered his opportunity, squandered his mission that God gave him over lust and because of a nagging woman and because he couldn't be bothered. But I love her. I trust her. She's not going to do anything to hurt me. When she already demonstrated to him that she was going to do whatever she needed to do and use that word love. Love. You don't love me. You don't love me, Samson. If you love me, you would tell me the truth. Finally break down and guess what happened? Squandered his strength, squandered his opportunity because he listened to someone that was foolish and he acted in a reckless manner, and then it caused him to lose his strength. Once he lost his strength, and guess what his enemies did? They tied him up, paraded him through the middle of town, gouged out his eyes, put him in the middle of town on like this big grain stone that the animals be on, and made him push the stone, walk around, laugh at him, pick at him, joke at him. Now, why these fools allowed his hair to grow back, I don't know. Because if I find out that's his source of his strength, then he's staying bald for the rest of his days. But these fools laughing, they acted in a reckless manner. They squandered their victory because they had him physically defeated. But he regrew his hair. He prayed to God and said, God, I know I messed up. I know I squandered my opportunity that you gave me, but I'm asking you to give me the strength one more time. If you give me the strength one more time, then I will take care of these enemies. I will take care of the enemies of the Israelites. God gives him his strength back. He gets between pillars in the building or in the area they were at, push the pillars down, kills all his enemies in one fell swoop, as well as killing himself. But had he done what he's supposed to the first time, before they found his weakness, he would have squandered his opportunity, but he acted in an arrogant, he acted in a very reckless and foolish manner. The same mistake that Samson made back then, we make those same mistakes today. We see people that make those same mistakes, and sometimes we are those people that make those same mistakes. Like I said, Samson was a major judge. There were major judges and minor judges. Basically, the major judges were leaders that God put in place to help defend the Israelites from any kind of external enemies. It usually didn't lead the whole group of Israelites, but one particular tribe, one or two tribes was mainly what the leaders did. But the minor judges, they were mainly like adjudicators. So they would settle disputes, they would make critical and official decisions. But the major judges, like Samson they had certain gifts that God bestowed upon them, and they were basically military leaders. That's the difference if anyone asks you between a major judge and a minor judge. But I want to challenge you in 2025, don't squander your opportunity. Whatever your opportunity may be, especially if it's a spiritual and a righteous opportunity, don't squander that. Because that spiritual opportunity that if you take advantage of will put your name in the book of life. And that's what we all want to hear. We all want to hear our names be called in the book of life. So we have one opportunity, one lifetime to get it right. If you're not right today, get right today. Pray to God and ask God to get right, to forgive you, to save your soul, and to help you be a better man, a better woman, a better person, and to walk in his light. God forgives us for all the stupid things we do if we only ask. If we don't squander our opportunity, if we don't act in a foolish and reckless manner, God will give us opportunity to get our soul right. That's my 2 cents for the day. Thank you all for joining me on my 256th episode of The Road to Wisdom. Like I said, today is Friday. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Here where I live at, it's supposed to be in the 70s, and I'm looking forward to it because just a couple of weeks ago, it was snowing. And of course, if you know me, I don't like the cold. I don't like the snow. But I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Hope you have a safe weekend. And as always, be safe out there. Be good to each other. Go to church, and God bless you.
Danny Graham, he speaks so clear. Love thy neighbor, hold them dear. Bible wisdom every day. God's own path, the only way. On the road to wisdom bright. Follow God through darkest night. Bible's words are guiding light. Marching forward with his might. Hear the stories from above. Jesus' power, pure is love. Trust in him no matter fall. Grace is here for one and all. Oh, with his might. On the road to wisdom bright. Follow God through darkest night. Bible's words are guiding light, marching forward with his might.